All right, so we're going to start off in our pre-market analysis here with our NASDAQ and crude oil setups and signals. So yesterday we talked a little bit about our crude oil, and we had a 140 offer zone. Market rallied right into the 140s, rolled over, and gave us a beautiful winner. So right here, now again, gang, this bar right here, it's the 10 o'clock candle that closes at 11 a.m. Central. So not only did we have a 1,000 tick DSR level, but in our pre-market analysis, we said any rally into this price point, we want to be short. We had a qualified sell signal here, tested that area, and from the 139s or 140 short, you see we popped to 43s there. The market rolled right back over to 99.47, just shy of this previous swing low. So $800 opportunity right there, nice little winner. I got short at 39s right there, and we've come back in and we've retested this level today. Now in crude oil, we've got a bit of a double top right here forming. Again, this is an hourly chart, a little more difficult to see. Our swing high is at 157. We pulled back, we put in a higher low at basically 100. And now this bar right here, our 8 o'clock candle that's going to close at 9 a.m., we could pop and retest this 155. So intraday right here, any retest of the 150 to 160s can put in a beautiful SOS4 sell signal for a swing trade. And again, we would look for the pullback back into this 99.60 to 99.40 zone right here. Okay, so DSR winner yesterday right here. Higher time frame analysis in our pre-market gave us the qualified setup, and then intraday we had a qualified signal at that level. All right, let's take a look at NASDAQ. Again, we're out here on the 1 hour chart. We've got our 1 hour DSR level set up. NASI, we looked at 35.65. Previous structure support, anticipated resistance. Drop in the horizontal line. So here had been our level of support. We stopped on a dime here, rallied from 560s back to 3600. Massive DSR resistance. Right there is our turning point black tip sell, followed by another TP black tip sell on the right side. Beautiful directional move. Previous support right here. Once broken, here's our new structure low at 35.40s. Outside return, previous support becomes resistance. So the 35.60 right here held, and now we're starting to roll back over. So in the NASDAQ, you'll note right here, we put in a swing high, pulling back down. I've got a beautiful symmetrical double bottom down here around the 35.40 to 45 handle. The double bottom itself in at 42. Okay, now we'll drop this in, and we'll look for qualified entries right here. Let's see if we get a symmetrical double bottom for a potential buy signal right there. Okay, so two areas of interest, NASDAQ 53s and then 40 to 43 right here. All right, let's pull the NASDAQ back up. That's the 610 tick chart, and then we'll probably come into 150 tick just to gain some better intraday perspective there. All right, Dow Jones. Okay, let's go ES 0614. Yeah, here's the S&P. We had the DSR level there. Now, this DSR level, let's widen this a little bit. We had the qualified sell signals. Back to back here, rolls back over. Okay, we have a DSR level right here that will update. We pulled down into this structure support at the 1862 handle. We popped right here. Right now, not much going on. I'll pull in the 1500 tick chart so we can look at the 1500 tick in the Dow, or I'm sorry, the S&P as well. And then Dow Jones right here, 0614. There's our Dow. Again, beautiful symmetry. We decline here. We go oversold, lower high, bullish divergence. We looked at 16,320s yesterday. This was an afternoon trade right there. Okay, this is the 12 o'clock candle that closes at 1, 1 to 2 candle, 2 to 3. Okay, from that point, we popped right here about 80 points in the Dow Jones. So again, we'll pull this down and look at some trading time frames now intraday. Tick chart. So now on the 1,000 tick, we looked yesterday in the Dow Jones. Let's tighten this up a little further. So we've got a DSR level. Beautiful symmetrical double top right there. We tested our 786 fib retracement from yesterday's analysis. So again, right here, we've got double bottoms set yesterday afternoon session at the 330s. Our DSR level set off of the swing lows here. So any pullback, beautiful opportunity here for a swing trade, 16,300 to 310s in the Dow Jones. Now again, if we pull back into this level, we'll look for buy signals on the Dow. We can also look to buy the DIA or diamond calls. All right, now let's come back to the S&P. Remember, we had a beautiful buy signal yesterday for about 5 or 6 points. S&P had a nice DSR support level. We'll keep this guy tucked up in the top right-hand side. That allows us to always gain a little bit higher time frame perspective. HTF, higher time frame trading, and then we can pull it down to our trading time frames and look for qualified signals at our key DSR levels. So here's this massive support zone down here at the 61s. Bought these yesterday in the afternoon session. We got a little pop here. So previous structure resistance, 1866. We'll see if we get support here. If this breaks, then again, we'll look for a move down to the 6162 level, and we'll look for long entries, S&P 6162s. All right, so let's take this. Let's move it up right here. I did a pre-market video as well, gang, on the level 2 trader. So remember, we talked about level 1 versus level 2. So here is level 2. Level 2 takes our rules of engagement from our level 1 strategy. If this, then that, and so on, and it produces an entry signal. So here's an algorithm, an auto trader, trading on our Brickwick bars. This is a trend following system, and I've got it set up right now to trade every turn. So on the left side, I've got the strategy applied, and the strategy setup is very, very simple. We set it up so we offer some great flexibility. Okay, so I'm going to left click right here, and you'll note that the strategy's got 3 different contracts that we can trade. I'm going to set this up and we'll watch it. So we've got the scalper set to 1 contract, the trader set to 1 contract. The protective stop on the scalper is 15. The protective stop on the trader is 15. The profit target on the scalper is 18, and the target on the trader is 28. So we've got a 1 to 1.15 here. We've got a 1 to almost 2 risk-reward ratio here. Now remember, I built this based on the internal strength indicator we spent the last 2 days looking at. We went from the internal strength indicator to then the IS over. The IS over gives us visual and audible alerts every time our criteria are met. This takes that to the next level and then says, okay, when those conditions are met, I want to have the strategy put me into the position. Now, right here, I can modify my overbought, oversold conditions. Remember that we looked at the internal strength and said, if IS over hits 40 or 45, then I can reduce the number of signals that I get. I can look for more extreme conditions to generate a buy or a sell. Okay, so we'll watch this. Again, all I want to do is I want to show you frequency today. I'm not concerned about profitability. I want to show you how the strategy works, how it uses an automated trade manager to put us into the position, and then how it allows us to modify our stops and targets on the right-hand side. So the strategy itself, the level 2 system, will be applied to the left chart. And then on the right side, I'm going to have the crude oil chart with our chart trader turned on. And that's what allows us then to manage the trades from the right-hand side. Now, most of my traders will trade a 8 a.m. start time to 10 a.m. in crude oil, and then typically 8:45 till about 10:45 to 11:30 in NASDAQ, S&P, Dow Jones, Mini Russell. Okay. Also note right here, I do have an extended target built in, so if I wanted to add a third contract, I can. And obviously I can modify that third contract. I can use any value that I want for a protective stop, any value I want for a profit target, or I can leave the take profit set to 0, which means it won't attach a profit target, but it will use a protective stop, and then I just move the stop and trail it based on the fib dots you see over here on the right-hand side. Okay, so time of day entry right here. You can select the account to put it in. Enabled set to true means we're going to turn the strategy on. And again, you can see that we're already net long. Okay, now net long right here on the right-hand side, and now we just got a qualified sell signal. So the reversal signal happened based on the turning point signal on the chart on the left-hand side. The strategy put us into the position. Now on the right-hand side, I can assess whether or not I want to be in the trade. And I can run this through my rules of engagement. Okay, so what are the rules of engagement? Number one, we've gapped higher. So let's take a look here at the crude chart. So note, gang, looking left, we rallied in and we went overbought against a previous structure resistance zone. Number two, you'll note that the go trade, so we've gapped higher in this market. In order to fill the gap, the market's going to have to come down and retest these lows. Okay, so I've got an extreme overbought black tip sell here. I've got a market that needs to roll over and come down to fill the gap. The value of the gap here is about 55 ticks, which is less than 1% of the value of the contract. So I can modify my stop. I can come up here, put it at 161, which puts me above that swing high right there, which ticks at 59. I'll modify my target 1 and put it at 26, rallying it just above. So you see it was set to 24. Remember, if we're short and we have a profit target at 4 or 5, we always round up to 6. Now, that'll leave me short until one of two things is happening. Number one, we get a stop and reverse buy signal based on the strategy. Number two, the market rolls over, we hit target 1, it'll automatically adjust my stops and my targets, and then keep me short until we possibly go down and attain target 2. Now, if I wanted to stay in the position and not get a reversal trade, I simply come over here and I can right-click, left-click strategies, and then just disable the strategy. Okay? Yeah, very, very simple. And again, I've got the left-hand side set to trade every turn, which means it's going to take every single black tip signal that we get, whether it's with or against the trend. I do have a trend filter built in. And again, most of my clients will trade this with the trend filter turned to true. But I wanted to show as much activity as we could today. So, bottom left, there's the level 2 strategy running on crude oil. Bottom right, this is crude oil with our base indicators, our level 1 indicators. And then this allows me to modify and manage our trades. Top left-hand side, we'll watch the NASDAQ and the Dow and gold and so on. Yeah, so you see right here, just had a question about the stop and reverse. So we had a qualified sell signal right here. So the strategy based on this black tip sell put us short at 137, 137. Market move against the position, didn't stop out, then moved in our direction where we got a reversal trade, which was a black tip buy. So with the reversal, the strategy reverses. Okay. It buys 2 at 133 for about a 4-tick winner per contract. And then it buys 2 more at 133 to get us long. Then from the 133, it rallies up here. We take profit on 1 contract. And then we had a black tip sell. So again, there's a reversal sell signal. Now what I'll do is I'll come in, go to data series, and you'll notice here, I'll take it from text and marker to just markers only. That way the text doesn't cover up those black tips for you. So there are the markers for the entries. All right, NASDAQ slightly lower. Now what we'll do is on the NASDAQ right here, I've got my swing ID set up. We can do a couple of things. Number one, you'll note right here, I can take my swings off if I choose to. Number two, I can left click and turn on the text, which allows me to see higher highs and higher lows. So you see right here, this is producing a new structure low. That tells me I'm in a bear continuation pattern. From that new structure low, I look left and see there's my previous swing high. So this is just beautiful. It goes right here. There's a double bottom. There's the lower high. Previous swing high is holding. And then here's the new structure low. So it's a fantastic tool to allow you to train your trading brain on just the basics of market structure. All right, S&P 500 top right, we've got an 1871 to 72 handle there. Let's go take a look at our dailies real quickly. There's our NASDAQ. Let's go look at the S&P, find out where we are relative to a couple of key levels. Okay, so S&P still hanging out at swing highs. All right, so again, here's my swing DSR. Area of interest right here. We popped through this 1883, went to 92s. So again, right there's a beautiful double top. I'll turn my text on. Okay, and then you can see that we retested on the right side. So we're just moving sideways. Look at yesterday's candle right here. Yesterday's candle was an inside bar. Yesterday's candle was contained by the prior session's high and low. And now you see that we're opening right at the midpoint. So we're seeing range contraction here, a little bit of indecision. High to high trend line over here on the right hand side. If we get a close above, we're likely to go retest our 94s. But again, right now just stuck like Chuck, S&P 500. Dow. Okay, same visual. Dow is already trading above yesterday's highs. So we'll see if that shows us some strength. NASDAQ rallying right now a little bit. Okay, so Dow Jones, area of interest right there, 16.5. 16.5 in the Dow Jones. Now, recent low-to-low trend lines right here, holding. So we got a bit of a bull pennant right here forming. We'll see if we close above that in today's session. Yeah, my relative momentum series right here, not showing us much. It's just hanging out between 100 and negative 100. It's when we get these pops right here where we go plus 3 and 400 where we get good directional moves. Okay, let's go look at CL 0614. Okay, there's crude oil. We pulled right back into my big Mo here. We held the $99 range. Popped back up right here. Again, this is a market that's trading about 160 ticks a day, $1.60. You see that we rallied right back into the 104 handle. 104 sets a swing high right here. We test it right there for a beautiful swing sell. And now we've pulled back down, not quite to the previous swing here at 98 bucks. Okay, so right here against yesterday's 140, low risk short for a possible move back to 98.80. So let's watch that again, 140 to 155 zone intraday swing trades. Quick look here at the SPY. Nothing going on there. QQQs. Yeah, nothing to speak of there. DIA. I want something that just screams at me as soon as I see it visually. EEM. Nothing there. We bought puts on the EEM here and again here. Profited from those, but not much going on. Let's look at TLT. That guy's rallied like crazy recently. Again, see the consolidation here, gang, across all markets. Okay, so here we have this big outside bar, a controller candle, if you will, and now I've got 1, 2, and potentially a third day that'll be contained by the previous highs and lows of that bar. So this is a low-risk breakout trade if we get the qualified setup. If we do it with the direction of the trend, we'd buy breaks above the 113. Okay, let's take a look at a couple of others. Nothing here. Okay, now you see right here, eBay down into previous structure. Baidu's going public. We've got swing lows right here, 50.64. We've got a gap lower that we haven't filled. So we might watch for some eBay calls right here, anticipating a pop back to fill this gap at around 53.50. Yeah, I like this extreme reading right down here on my Stoke. Okay, and then I got two traders asking for FSLR. Take a quick look. Sideways trade right there. Let's look left. Now I'll turn the text off right there. Okay, I'll turn off the swings and we'll turn off the dots. So now we're just looking at current swing highs and lows. You see that we rallied right to my fib extension level. So we took the swing low from here, projected to this high, and we measured that move, and you see that 127 nailed the swing highs almost to the penny. Since that time, we're in a little bit of a bull pennant. Okay, so note right here, we've got the high-to-high trend line on the right side. See this channel right there. This is a classic chart pattern. If we get a close above here, then buy the calls around $70, 70.50s, and then we'll see if we can get a retest of that 127. And then a possible move to the 1618 up here at $84. Yeah, but great example right there. Now, I'm going to also take the right side of this, from this swing low to this new structure high, and we'll measure this leg, and we'll look for a point of confluence. So you'll note that the 1414 extension of this leg is going to meet the 1618 extension of the previous leg. So I'm just going to pull this guy in here. And this confluence area produces a really nice profit target. After a close above this, produce a probability of an expectation of $14. And then stops would have to go below the swing lows here. So risk 7 to make 14, basically. All right, let's get back into the day trade here. NASDAQ retesting the previous swing lows with an extreme oversold. All right, there was our short signal right there in the S&P, top right-hand side. Okay, so the short entry here as we retest. Building your strength of signal. Here's RSI overbought, SOS1. Where's the market relative to? I'm at a DSR level, SOS2. Previous structure resistance, SOS3. Beautiful sell right there. Now again, this is aggressive. This is the left side of a potential double top. All right, gang, here you go. Crude oil, we've hit target 1. Okay, so we're looking for this to fill the gap. Remember, the strategy put me in the position over here. Target 1's been attained. And now let's see if we can continue to roll south to target 2. Now watch over here on the right-hand side. I've got the level 2 strategy entering the positions right here. I've got the ability to manage the trade over here. So I can pull this order down at 141. This buy stop for protection is attached to this buy target, which is a limit order resting below. I've got the limit order down here purposely resting at this previous double bottom, and it's at 90% of the gap fill. Now again, if I want to stay short until we get this gap fill, I can come over here and I can turn the strategy off. Or I can just let the strategy run regardless. So there's the strategy, there's our black tip, there's our qualified sell. Remember, our first target is hit. I moved it up 2 ticks. So we took about 16 ticks or $160, and now we're still net short the balance over there on the right side. Yeah, now for the morning, already up around $750 trading a 2-lot. I turned it on at 7 a.m. and we had a signal almost immediately after that. Yeah, and this one right here, Worst case scenario, we'll get a stop and reverse buy down here. We should lock in around another $180 on the second half of this. So somewhere around 340 bucks on the second. All right, S&P traders, partial profits on the top right. Yeah, and there's a question about can we use it on a regular tick chart? Absolutely can. All right, let's take a quick look here at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ extreme oversold condition back into this level. Okay, I'll turn off the text. I can turn on the swings if those help you. See how it helps identify these swing highs and lows? It forces your eyes to see those swing highs. It's a great training tool for that. Remember, gang, all of our trading is based on what do I see, what does it mean, what do I do? If you don't want to see them, just take that, double left click on the SW. Now I can right click, left click, we can add our DSR levels. Scroll down to T2U DSR. Now again, we're on a 610 tick chart. I'm going to change this chart to a 233. 233 ticks times 4 is 932. So we're going to set our DSR levels at 932.